Blindfold chess is where you play chess without seeing the board and have to remember everything in your head. It's one of the most impressive skills of a chess player to those who know nothing of chess, and one of the most important skills for calculation in chess games. In today's video, I play against a subscriber in a recent stream where I play without the pieces on the board, blindfold chess, and get a very interesting Caro Kann game with an awesome rook sacrifice later on, so make sure you stick around until the end of the video. I'll also include a board below my webcam showing the actual position, so you're not just staring at a blank board, and we'll also do a brief analysis at the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoy. Okay, I have the black pieces. E4, let's go C6, play the Caro, because I know these positions. Again, if you want to see the actual game, then, okay, exchange Caro, it's annoying. Then you can check on my chess.com account. Okay, knight F3. Okay, let's start with knight F6. Start with knight F6. I want to go bishop G4 at some point and pin the knight. Yeah, the exchange Caro is not something I wanted because there's a lot of open lines, which makes it more difficult. Interesting, okay. If you're just joining, we're playing a blindfold game. If you want to see the actual game, then just go to, what am I trying to say? Oh, sorry. The chat's not updating. There we go, that should have fixed it. Link the game. Oh yeah, I'll link the game actually in the live stream. That'll be better, won't it? Good idea. So you guys can see the actual pieces and where they are. Let me do that now for you. Oh, sorry. Have I played Blindfold before? I have played it before, yeah. Okay, you should be able to click on that link, and it should work. Okay, bishop to F4. That's fine. Let's go bishop G4. I think I should change the title. Yeah, I suppose. Just for the time being. Okay, bishop to E2, that's fine. Let's go E6. Let's go E6. I want to go bishop D6 to trade off the dark square bishops. C3, that's fine. Let's go bishop D6. Let's go bishop D6. And we have decent pressure here. We have decent pressure. I still need to get my other knight to the C6 square, I think. Let me know if that link is working, by the way. Let me know if that link is working. Okay, knight E5. That's quite funny, be cool. Okay, knight E5. Do I trade the bishops? Probably. Yeah, let's trade. Bishop E2, queen E2. I still need to put a knight on C6. Let's do it. Knight C6. Okay, good. Link works. Awesome. So yeah, you guys can like actually see what's going on. Yeah, let's see if I can do anything here. Bro, I felt like you are cheating. What do you mean? As in, you think that I've got the game up on a different board? I mean, I can promise you I don't, but you'll just have to take my word for it. Okay, let me think. Zaxi, that's funny. Okay, knight d2, that's fine. We can't take on e5 because pawn takes and our knight and bishop will get forked, so I should probably castle. Here. Okay, let me think here. Queen's on e2, knight's on d2, bishop on f4, knight on e5, pawn on d4, pawn on c3. That's white's setup, right? The king's still on e1, the rook's here, I'm castled. I've got a bishop on d6, knight on f6, knight on c6. Pawns on d... I should use a different color. Pawns on d5 and e6, kind of like this. I can actually use colors here to make it work. No, my knight is on c6, my queen is on d8, my rook is on a8. Yes, that's correct. And then white's pawns are like this. Queen b5, okay. Queen b5, going after my b7 pawn. I think probably queen c7. Knight c6, bc6. That works, I think. Yeah, let's go queen c7. He is seeing left side, so I felt. No. The left is just the like chat. The chat is on my left monitor, which is this direction to the webcam, and the webcam is on my main monitor, which is the game. I mean, this is my monitor. This is my other monitor. So, don't want to hear it. Don't want to hear it. Okay. I think queen b5 isn't a great move because we also can play the move a6 and kick the queen away and expand with b5, which should be quite good. If you are joining the stream right now, I'm playing Blindfold chess. There is a link in the chat with a link to the game, so you guys can actually see the game with the pieces. Also, I just realized my opponent made this rated. That's very naughty. Very naughty. Oh yeah, white still hasn't castled. That's true. That's good for me. Yeah, don't worry, Dark Talks. Don't worry. Viv, how's it going? We're playing Blindfold chess. A4. Okay. Okay. Wait, aren't I just winning a pawn? Knight takes, bishop takes, pawn takes, queen takes, no? There's a knight on d2, but that's just a free pawn. That's just a free pawn. And also, when we take, it comes with check, so white doesn't have time to take b7. So that's really good. That's really good. We're going to win a pawn here. Love that. Love that. Okay. Been tough, man. What's been tough? What's been tough? Yeah, my opponent's thinking a bit here. I think he's realised he's just losing a pawn. Because the queen on e2 was doing a good job of defending the knight on e5. And one of the big ideas of the opening here, because the structure, the pawns are like this, right? One of the big ideas is that I try and fight on the queen side and go for moves like b5 to undermine, sorry, b4 to undermine the white c3 pawn. And alternatively, white tries to defend the e5 square, put like a knight on e5, like a rook on e1, bring his other knight via d2 to f3, maybe a bishop on f4, and really control the e5 square. But the way my opponent's gone about it, he hasn't quite played it like that. Okay, de5, bishop e5. Admittedly, it is easier having a board in front of me rather than being like genuinely blindfolded. I will admit that. But obviously, it's still not easy. Still not easy. I hope this is interesting for you guys too, by the way. For those of you just joining the stream, I think the game should still be in the chat for you to click on so you can see where the pieces are. So you don't also have to look at a blank board. So yeah, we're just winning a clean pawn here, which is great. Bishop e3, okay. I guess we just go bishop back to d6. We could go bishop to f6. We could go bishop to f6. But I prefer my bishop on d6. Because if my opponent castles kingside, then we just take on h2. So he either has to prepare it with h3, or he doesn't castle, in which case we can maybe get e5 in and be aggressive, although the queen is currently hitting our d5 pawn. Or if he goes queenside, then he's already committed to the move a4, which isn't great. Okay, he goes h3, so that I don't have bishop takes h2. The queen's on b5, yeah. I'm just going to play a6. Ask the queen what she's doing. Ask her what she's doing, what her intentions are with my position. She may well just go back to e2 or d3. Yeah, okay, back to e2. I could play the move e5. I don't really want to, though. There's no d-pawn. There's no d-pawn. Oh, yeah, there's no d-pawn. What if he's cheating? What do you mean, what if he's cheating? Okay. Okay, so let's just go through this again. This is our piece setup. Our pawns are like this. Our king is here. White's setup... No, this is on a4. It's like this. His bishop is here, queen is here, king is here, rooks are like this, and knight is on d2. That's the setup. Yes, okay. We could go queen c4 offering a queen trade. Don't think I want to, though. We could go bishop c5 offering a bishop trade. Not sure I want to. It's not chess, but checker. What do you mean? Uh-oh? What are we uh-ohing about? What are we uh-ohing about? You forgot about a move. Oh, yeah, that's true, actually. Yeah, I forgot about the pawn going to h3. I forgot about the pawn going to h3. That's a good point, my guy. Good point. Let's go bishop f4. Offer a bishop trade. Let's offer him a bishop trade. To be honest, I probably should have done that in the first place. Oh no, I couldn't do that in the first place, because then b7 would have been hanging. So, no, that's perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. This is a good way of going about it, I think. And yeah, so a trade should benefit me, because my queen gets to quite an active square. Which is obviously good. Obviously good. Bishop d4. Yeah, I think I have e5 here, though. My plan was e5. Now we get some expansion. The bishop doesn't have c5, doesn't have b6. There's a pawn on c3, so there's a pawn in the way. Yeah, bishop back to e3. Let's take it. Queen takes. Does d4 work? You can't take on e5 because of rook e8. d4, take, take. Take. Check. King's got to move. King's got to move. Oh, also my queen defends e5. Does d4 work, trying to rip apart the position? Take, take. take. Rook e8 check. Something like king f1. Rook a to d8. That looks dominating. Let's play it. I think that's good. Let's do a quick count. Like this. Like this. Oh, I also forgot about a4, I think. My pieces. Like this, 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 this. Queen f3. Queen f3? Queen f3, really? Can I not just play e4? Knight takes, queen takes, rook e8. Right? Yeah, let's play e4. We have pressure on c3. We're attacking the queen. This looks really good. I will go over the game afterwards as well. If you're new to the stream and you're like, why on earth is there just a blank board in front of me? Then there is a game link in the chat so that you can see the pieces on the board. I might resend that. No, I don't need to resend that. I don't think. Let me check that the chat is updating. Cool. Queen g3. Offering me a queen trade. Let's take him up on the offer. Now what? Pawn e3. Attacking the knight. Knight f3. Take. That looks pretty good. I have pawns here. Pawns like this. Got a knight here. Rooks here and a king here. My opponent's pawns are like this. I should make them a different color. And his pieces rook, king, knight. I do not think I'm Hikaru, don't worry. I do not. Oh, wait, there's an even better idea. Let's go pawn e3, attacking the knight. Knight f3. I think we just have d3. Knight c4. Knight c4 is a move. But do we have rook c8? I think. I think we have rook c8. Because if I push d3, he takes this. So, yeah, rook ac8 looks like a strong move. Yeah, in blindfold chess, you kind of just have to constantly remind yourself where your pieces are and where your opponent's pieces are. You have to constantly remind yourself. Because it's tough. It's tough otherwise. I mean, it's tough even when you do. So who's winning? Let me just put the game link in the chat again for anybody who is new to the stream. Just so everybody can access the game. Knight b6 attacking my rook. I think we just have rook c6. I think we just have rook c6. There's no knight d7 because I've got a knight on f6. So rook c6. The pawn's on a4, so he probably will play pawn a5. I'm guessing. He doesn't have knight d5 because I control that square. Because I have a knight on f6. So that's very, very good. Very, very good. A5, okay, yeah. Now we go... Well, we could take... I think I'd prefer D3, though. So let's play it. Pawn D3. We have pawns on E3 and D3. Which is very nice. Very, very nice. The king is still on E1. Still on E1. We may or may not jump the knight in at the correct opportunity. We'll see. Now we need to try and convert this. So, okay. What's the plan? Rook A4. Rook A4 intends to come to D4, right? That's the idea. To stop the pawn from behind. So probably Rook D8. Looks like the logical move. Also, there's a knight on B6, so our rook on D8 does a really good job of dominating its movement. We still have a rook on C6. I didn't want to put the rook on D6 from C6, so I was concerned about knight C4. My opponent says in the chat that he's trying to play weird moves, but it's not working, clearly. But playing weird moves is a great way to try and beat someone who's playing blindfold. It is. It's a very legitimate strategy. Very legitimate. Minus 3.4, okay. Yeah, be cool, of course. Send me a challenge. Okay, knight C4 anyway. Going after E3. So I assume we push. The rook is defending the knight. Does mean the rook's tied down, though. I don't have rook D4 because there's a pawn on C3. Oh, the king is still on E1. Let's remember that. King is still on E1. I could just go rook E6. Yeah, let's go rook E6. Because I've got rooks behind my pawns now. Yeah, be cool. You've got to wait until the game is over. Otherwise, the challenge just doesn't go through. I don't think there's anything I can do to change that. How's your blitz elo higher than rapid? No idea. I don't play much rapid, to be fair. I don't play much. Only really for YouTube videos do I play rapid. So that's probably why. And I don't really use this account when I do that. It'll be a raise. I've had my cursor on the challenge button since the beginning of the game. Love that, love that. Yeah, this is a great position. This is fantastic. So, white's pieces are like... Well, the pawns are like this. Knight b6. Hey? That doesn't hit anything. That doesn't hit anything. Because my pieces are like this. Probably E2. I'm late to the stream. How long have you been playing blindfold games? This is the only one. This is the only one. There should be a link to the game in the chat. If not, can somebody please put the link in the chat? I think we should go E2. I think pawn E2. I don't think I'm missing anything. King D2. But don't we have knight E4 check? Don't we have knight E4 check? And I assume my opponent will give up the rook for the knight. The rook is on a4. Yeah, okay then. Well, we're up in exchange with 2 connected passed pawns, which is pretty good. Pretty good. b4. Okay. So, okay. Pawns like this. Rooks like this. Okay. I can't take this pawn because the pawns are like this. With a knight on b6, my pawns are like this. And this. And he's not resigning because I've still got to win this. It's not easy being blindfolded. No, my rooks are like, yeah, it's on here. Jadenity, love to hear that. Love to hear that. Work. Not easy to convert. How do I win this? How do I win this? My opponent said you can't see the pieces blunder something in the game chat. That's quite funny. That's quite funny. Oh, I also can't play rook to b4 because the knight controls that square. So I could promote. Rook takes, pawn takes... Sorry. Rook takes, king takes. But I could give a check and he still blocks. I can't get in. Can't get in. Maybe I should bring my king. This is tricky. This is tricky. How do I convert this? How do I convert? Let's go king f8. Not really sure what I'm doing, to be honest. Knight a4. Okay. I don't have the knight anymore. I don't have the knight. I won an exchange for it. I gave a check on e4 and my opponent gave up his rook. Oh, so he played b4 to give his knight cover to come here. Interesting. Rook e8, then he just goes rook e1 though. It's a good move. I'm going to go rook c4. With a little bit of an idea here. Little bit of an idea. I'm setting a kind of a trap. Kind of. We will go through the game after it's done, by the way. We'll go through the game. So my idea is, yes. Rook c3, king c3. Pawn d2. I think it works. I think I can sack the rook. Because if king takes, I have pawn to d2. Remember, this pawn is on e2. And there's no way for white to stop the promotion. That's the idea. White just can't stop it because the king is blockading the d2 square. If he doesn't take... By the way, he put the knight on b6 to attack my rook. If he doesn't take, then I can just play rook to c2 and forcibly remove... Yeah, he takes it. Let's go pawn d2. This game will clip into an excellent video. Blindfold rated game against an opponent who can see the pieces. Yeah, probably. Okay, my opponent resigns. My opponent resigns. That was an incredibly interesting game. Let's turn the pieces back on. Let's turn them back on. And this was the ending position. So, let's go through the game quickly. So we get an exchange Caro Kann, right? Exchange Caro Kann. Bishop goes to g4. GG indeed, pinning the knight. Bishop to e2. Pawn to e6. Because I want to go bishop d6 to challenge the bishop. Zulfikar, I'm glad you got your wish. Pawn c3, this is pretty standard. Bishop d6. Knight to e5. I take on e2 and play knight to c6. Now here, my opponent went knight d2, which is standard. And after castles, he probably should play something like knight d to f3. Something like castles and rook e1. He went queen b5. And that's just not a good move. Queen c7 isn't the best, though. What's the best move? Is there something I'm missing? Ah, it's knight h5. Going after the bishop. But okay, queen c7, a4, we take. Bishop goes back, we bring the bishop back, h3, because if he castles, I will win the h2 pawn. a6 kicking the queen, bishop f4 offering a trade. And then we push right through the position with d4. If take, I was just going to go rook e8 and... Oh, I didn't mean to do that. And rook to d8. And I assumed this had to be winning. So he moves his queen. Oh, I didn't mean to do that either. He moves the queen to f3. Probably hoping that I take here. But I have to move e4. And the king is just completely stranded. If you take, I just have rook to e8 and I win the queen. So he can't do that. He can't do that. And instead, we get the queen trade. Pawn e3. Knight goes to c4. I can't push d3 because I'll lose this pawn. So I first attack the knight. The knight moves. I attack it again, which means that he doesn't have time to take on d4. And then I can push d3. Rook comes to a4. I play rook to d8 to support the pawn. Because I assumed that if I did something like this, then rook to d4, I have to push this pawn, and then after king to d2, white can set up some kind of blockade, maybe. So instead, I stop the rook coming here, and my knight covers the e4 square. Shift the rook over, knight goes back, push e2, threatening d2, so you have to block it. Check, you have to sack the rook. If you move the king, then it's game over. So you have to sack the rook. b4 I thought was a really good move. I bring my king because I actually couldn't figure out a plan. But after knight to a4, I realized I have rook to c4. The idea being that if you attack my rook, I just sacrifice it on c3. Now, what else could white have done? Because if the knight stays here, I can't take because you'll take back with the knight. If I move like rook e1, I probably have to start bringing my king. Is there anything else? What else is there? No. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I have to drop back and maybe reroute the rook over here, most likely. But yeah, my opponent goes knight b6 and takes the bait. And in this position, you can't stop a promotion. So, GG.